And I think that extends across the board. So some other industry news is that ServiceNow made another announcement, and what was interesting about it is that also all around governance, in this case AI governance. So they introduced a set of three, I don't know what you call them, tool sets, classes. I don't know what they would be, capabilities, I guess they're calling them.
Tools.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So to all focus on governance, and you brought this up, and you obviously think this is a smart thing for them.
Yeah. So it's not that what I'm about to say is not going to be a super big surprise to anybody in IT, but ServiceNow has come out with these three capabilities. Now Assist Guardian, which is providing AI guardrails and getting rid of offensive content, adding additional security. They're adding a data kit to help consume data for AI, and they're adding analytics so you can see the adoption of AI. And although that's not groundbreaking from a market-based perspective, I do think that having all of those abilities in one place is going to be an expectation for enterprise applications going forward. Whether it's ServiceNow or Workday or SAP or Oracle, if you do not provide all of these capabilities to support AI from the get-go and make it obvious how to use them at not just a very specific niche level, but at an enterprise at an executive visibility level, I don't think AI is going to work in your enterprise application.
So what's interesting about this, and this is where I agree with part of what you're saying. I agree with the standpoint that this is a necessary function that does not exist in most organizations. We've talked about the challenge with AI governance in the enterprise, and I think those challenges are not yet resolved and won't be for any time, is for no other reason the fact that the overarching regulatory and compliance world is not clear on any of it yet. So there, that level of governance can't even happen. But even at the level that ServiceNow is trying to address it, my challenge is that ServiceNow is basically trying to put this out as governance strictly for the AI capabilities within the ServiceNow ecosystem. And
Mm-hmm.
that's well and good for what they're doing. But I think the big issue with AI is that it is at its nature, and at least in my view of where it needs to go, is that it's transcendent. It's not living in any one system. And so while I agree with everything, and maybe this is what their plan, but to me, that needs to be an independent environment. I need to have a dedicated AI governance tool set environment, something that is doing this across all my enterprise apps that are doing it. So that's my question. Is this really going to become the new standard that every enterprise app has to have? Or is this that we're going to need to be relying on some third party to do it to actually get to the level we need to be at?
Yeah, it's no secret that applications have sprawled out of control. The average enterprise now has over 1,000 applications at that multi-billion-dollar revenue level. And it is going to be difficult to figure out how to govern that unless you are asking for all the applications to integrate into your application, and then ServiceNow also becomes the next Oracle database
Which
from
I
a
think they
practical
probably
perspective.
are in favor of that. So maybe that's their big master plan.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think it's challenging. I think it's a tough space.
hmm Yes. This combination of trying to figure out how to govern AI and then how to deal with the orchestration of all of these agents that are going to be created across all of these different platforms. Yeah, it feels like we're working our way slowly to a new AI middle management layer, which is going to add a different type of complexity to AI. So we get to abstract certain bits, but now we're going to add another. We're changing the level of detail.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's, and like I said, I'm not slamming on what they're doing. I think the fact that they're doing anything with AI governance is, good for them, and I do agree with you from the standpoint that they are addressing a very either what is a very real concern or what will be a very real concern for enterprise leaders in the very near future, because you do not have to go very far down this road
Yep.
before you start recognizing the challenges around it. I just think it's not going to be nearly that simple unless you're willing to go all in on and take your pick, right? I mean, if it's Salesforce, if it's ServiceNow, or any of the major players, and say
hmm
this is where everything comes through. But as we both know, in the typical enterprise, that isn't what happens. And so the question
Right.
is, then what?